Hey man, we're down here, the insiders on the outside, Field and Sports Report. We are at Vintage Trailer Works in Dothan, Alabama. Aaron Webb's going to do us a nice walk around here.
Absolutely. I'm glad everybody's having a good, lovely day today. It's a little bit bright, but I like some clouds.
We're going to add some stuff. We know y'all been in business 7 years. We know this is kind of a newer location, but the XTR brand. All right, he'll start with the walk around, and I'm going to chime in spots. But start telling us about this trailer.
So this is a Voyager trim package that we're doing now. We wanted to go into the more trim aspect of things, just naturally due to the fact that being become dealer oriented. It'll make it so much easier for their customers to sell through to them. That time, before that, we were doing custom builds, and the custom was great and gravy to a point because you can get a custom unit to your liking with your customizations. But this, in essence, is what I would like to say is a template for anybody else to throw with their modifications, just like our tow vehicles are, that they can do, change, modify, add. And meaning if they want to throw 33-inch tires themselves on, they got the luxury of doing that.
You got plenty of room because you need at least 4 inches. You got more than that.
Yes.
And you mentioned Voyager. Now XTR is one of how many different models Vintage makes?
So we dropped 2, so I think we're currently at 6.
Minus
our 2 units, being the Blackhawk and Cosmic coming up.
Okay.
So we'll get those back up.
And then you have an Export.
The Export is an on-road model. We got a Cup Classic, an on-road model. Then we have our XTR, an off-road model. There is differences between the two. I'll go in more deep here soon.
Like if someone we're doing this. Hey, listen, we're doing this as if you're just kind of showing me it. I just got 10 minutes and I came down.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Voyager package, because within each one of the trailers you have multiple packages. So it starts as a base.
As far as trims,
then Voyager trim,
different kind of cabinetry. You're getting kind of different amenities and features that you want to get as you would a base, but top of the line being
it just adds more stuff. So base, Voyager, Overland, and Commander.
Yep.
So Voyager seems to be really a great starting point.
Oh yeah.
If you want to save some money, you can save money. If you want to spend more, of course, you can do that too.
Right.
What's this outside, man?
So this is 040 gauge aluminum.
Okay.
And underneath that's going to be a 3/4 inch 13-ply birchwood, Baltic birchwood.
And 040 is stronger than 030, right?
Oh,
or
yeah,
032. It's thicker, right? The higher it goes.
And it being aluminum, it is going to be a good conductor for both heating and cooling. And I don't mean that in both positive or negative ways, but being completely transparent with somebody, like you were touching it earlier.
Yeah.
On this side, the sun's beaming on it. It's heating up a little bit because it is aluminum. Whereas the other side, you're not going to get this kind of flex. We don't throw any kind of adhesive layer on that, and the reason being is because even if we did, it's still contract and expand with that heat and expansion. That glue will come undone and still, peel off a little bit in between that. And overall, your joints.
So when somebody pushes like this, if it was fiberglass, they'd consider it delamination. This is by design.
Yes, absolutely.
To flex like that.
Yeah, because overall, I don't want to smell glue on the inside because that glue.
Formaldehyde is what it is.
Exactly. It can be very unattractive.
Detrimental to people's health.
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
absolutely can.
I didn't smell any of that in here.
No. The only smell that you'll have for a short period of time is that polyurethane coat, which is a marine grade that we apply to all the wood that you see.
Well, the cool thing about these is they don't look conventional at all. Okay, so this looks different. You can go everywhere. You've got bigger tires. Obviously, we can see that, right?
Right.
These are how big?
So standard is 30-inch tires, and then you have the option to go up to 33-inch tires.
Okay. And then outside, you guys do a really good job with your rack.
Yeah, so the heavy-duty roof rack, which is on this one, is a proprietary setup. This is something that we built. This is something that we throw together just like the rest of the unit that you have in front of you. And the only thing that we don't get that is pre-done is going to be the aluminum bar up top. But I've even had customers where they've taken that off and simply applied a heavier duty bar, which is way beyond an extreme.
But you guys are rated at 800 pounds.
Absolutely.
That's plenty static weight.
We've had units roll over on themselves and suspend completely upside down. We've had units where they suspend on the side and no damage whatsoever.
Well, from tornadoes or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah,
these things, they tow great. We'll get into it because you're using, with those big tires, you're using what kind of axles?
So you're looking at an axle suspension. It's Dexter Torflex. It's a Torflex suspension. So they are independent of each other. There's no cross beam, single axle, no bar, all that's
torsion or Torflex?
This is going to be a torsion. My
torsion.
Apologies.
Okay, yeah. I thought you, don't worry.
Dexter Torflex.
No big deal.
Axle suspension is what they call it, but there's so many names for all that. It is sitting on 3,500-pound idlers as well, so you'll never get close, even if you bombard this with a basket up top, a rooftop tent up top. You got it loaded. Everything.
And where we're at right now, I know this is going to fit in a garage.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of.
You guys, how many models do you think fit in a garage? I mean, all the XTRs until. Right?
Yeah, a lot of customers out west live in HOAs, and people can't have this
everywhere
outside, man. So
HOAs
it's
are
got to go in there. So without even changing tires or deflating your tires, you get 78 inches of clearance from the very top of your bar all the way down. And that's a little bit of flexibility too. So
being in a garage able, you've got areas you can step up, stand on.
Oh yeah.
Lighting outside. These are, how big are these doors?
So you're looking at 26 by 36 inches.
So is that 26 wide?
Yeah, 26 wide.
You see that? Chase is behind the camera. So I'm at 26 wide as far as getting in and out. That's plenty of room to move things and so forth.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to the inside in a minute,
Yeah.
right? Let's see out back here.
So again, with the Voyager package,
All the
this is where your
XTRs
trim
come
changes.
with either, they're prepped, right?
Right.
Like the base does not have
Your
certain
base will be
things.
from here down. Your base is still going to have a cooler slide.
Yep.
On your cooler slide, some modifications that we have changed in the past couple of years is going to be a latch system versus a minor proprietary latch that we did where it went to the side.
Sure.
And then another thing too.
But this will handle the weight of a cooler.
Yeah.
And your coolers,
32 inches away.
if you look at it, you got 32 wide there, and if I'm not
19,
mistaken, 1919.
Yep.
So if you're out there and you're measuring up for a 12-volt cooler, guess what? Check that out. You can also do that if you don't want to just bring, you know, your own cooler with ice and so forth, which a lot of people do. Looks like you got all kinds of outlets.
Yeah.
This looks like a big upgrade too. These, I mean, that stuff's great, man.
Right.
What kind of wood is this?
Again, it's Baltic birchwood.
Inside and
plastic.
out?
Yeah, all the way through the unit. So we do have a
Purple?
skeletonized. This is a skeletonized frame as far as the door itself.
Okay.
And this is going to be your 1/4 inch wood.
Okay.
This isn't Baltic birch.
What
we
kind
do-
of, what did you call this?
I'm not positive is this what type of wood it is.
Okay.
But it is a 1/4 inch piece of wood. So then we trim it out. But
It's
again,
resistant to outdoors,
Right.
obviously, because right?
So we've had people where they want to throw different types of lights on. You simply use a number 2 you screw head and pop these screws off, and you can change any kind of lights, put backup lights, auxiliary, anything the same bed.
You got great storage in there.
Oh yeah. Well again, this is the Voyager.
Call me to put
so
stuff. Yeah, no, but the Voyager.
beneath this, you would have
What
the
am I looking
base.
at in here, my friend?
So shore power comes standard on any featured, whether it's everything or nothing for a unit.
So the shore power would be cord that goes through here, correct?
Correct. So this would be your shore power. It's on a GFCI plug, so it's water
goes through
resistant.
that?
It's going to go through
The
here.
cord comes through, right? Okay.
So you can either run power through there, you can run it out, whichever you
Okay.
find feasible at that point in time. But again, as every other traditional RV, you want it on the driver's side because when you're at campgrounds, typically your power poles are on that driver's side.
Typically is.
So,
Yep.
but the other things that are in here too is
Yeah,
the fuse
go ahead.
block.
Can you see in there?
So your fuse block comes standard. This also allows somebody to have any other addable options that they want to do. Again, like auxiliary lights or off-road lights or a light bar perhaps. Maybe they want to do their own sink in here. They want to take
Sure.
the liberty of doing that. They can. But overall, that fuse block can be interchanged. You can introduce a larger one. We use one that has 6. Typically, it's just feasible for us, and that's what's allocated to us as far as parts. We've never needed anything more than that. But if a fuse ever goes out, it's accessible, it's easy to get to. Everything we do within mind is to easy access point for a customer or anybody for the matter that
And
wants
even,
to do any
yeah,
kind of work.
access, if there is a need, you
Right,
get to it. You don't have
yeah,
to undo all kinds
exactly.
of, secret panels and stuff. What about, okay, your hitch here?
Correct. So
2
a
inch?
2-inch receiver
So
is
I can-
standard on every off-road.
Bike racks, electric bikes?
Bike racks, e-bikes.
Any
you got
idea what
dirt
it
bikes.
weighs? What the rating is?
So legality-wise, I would comfortably like to say at least 200 pounds, but just like every other trailer, you want to start forward and
Sure.
then work your way back.
Yeah,
as far
because
as
you've
weight
got to work it.
distribution. Right.
Yeah, and you got the front. You put a
So-
battery on. You add a bike. You put some propane or whatever.
So
you
we've
put some
had
stuff.
500 pounds back here without anything on the front rack. Dude, you're asking for catastrophe again for any trailer.
Right, you have
But
to
when you
balance
a
the
full-
load.
Exactly. When you have it fully loaded, you're good. If
Just
somebody
remember
wants to use
that.
it for recovery, it's a full pull-out for recovery. So.
Got this. I got a light here, another 12 volt, and then a
Yeah,
voltmeter.
So your voltmeter also is your 2 USB ports, standard 12 volt, just like the one for your cooler
Sure.
side. Your on and off switch.
There's a lot of stuff to plug in.
And this is all
Coffee
12
makers,
volt. Oh yeah.
electric,
dude.
different things. I get a sink at which package?
That's going to be your overland package and above. Now it is a selectable option for the Voyager, but we don't want to automatically include it because your cost is going to increase.
But I
So
could add a sink,
You can add the
and I
freshwater
would.
option.
And then and how many gallon of water do I get? then?
10 gallon is standard. If you do like the Commander kitchen beside this unit right here, you're looking at 16 gallons for a water tank.
The Commander
So-
again just keeps going up.
It
Remember,
goes
it's
up.
like 4
Yes,
tiers.
Yeah.
So, but I could get a sink here, which would give me a 10-gallon tank. I can.
You
Then
get
it
a
comes
13-inch
with the
stainless steel
overland.
round sink.
Yeah,
Correct.
we'll have to take a look. We'll take some pictures
Yeah.
and add that. But this is a really good price. But the MSRP on this is what?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question because I can't remember. I think it's like 16,490 if I
Let
remember
me
correctly.
take. I think we were looking around.
I want to say it's 16,490.
Yeah, the MSRP is anywhere from that, but this particular model is right around 14 and a half.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking laser cut in. 800 pounds here, gigantic tires. Place step here.
Oh yeah, step
here.
side,
And this
300
is
pounds.
what I really like about this too.
Right.
And, you know, we've really gotten into this, man. It's like I've got a jet boil. I don't need the stove.
No.
I'm only gonna turn it on. I got my own little thing, or I've got a 2-burner. I bring it myself. As far as this goes, I've got coolers. I got a 12-volt option. I want.
It
rocks, man.
on that video, but
Absolutely rocks. I saw the spare tire over there is a must. What are these things right here?
So that's
Those
standard
one on
ventilation.
each side.
Yeah, so you definitely want ventilation. Again, with everything or nothing on a unit that comes standard.
Yep.
With that, you're not having to worry about carbon monoxide buildup. Although that is a dangerous factor that you can play with if you're next to a generator.
Yeah,
do
but
have
you got to be a
ventilation
generator,
overall.
and you're pretty safe because you
Right.
don't even have a LP line.
Right, exactly. And we don't have to worry about that safety concern on any of our units because all that's externally hooked up. Now, the Blackhawk Cosmic, those would be different stories.
Sure.
But again, we'll be certified in those areas too.
Come this way with the
somebody-
camera. Point out a few things on this side, and I'll get on the other side.
Yeah.
Show Chase a few things. in
So
there.
again, standard features consist of a queen size mattress. This is also a full queen size mattress with 5.5 inch of thickness. For somebody like this, myself, that has minor back issues, sometimes major at times, depending on what I got, this is actually a very comfortable mattress that comes with it. The other convenience
If I'm
factor,
measuring right, you're about almost 5 inches
right.
on this foam.
So when you're looking at something like this right here, you know, it folds out again to a queen size length. You got 80 inches from your front wall to your rear wall, which is a queen size mattress length. And in your width, because this is also shrunk with 3/4 inch on each side, you're looking at 59.5 inches of interior from side to side. But still, with
That's
this
a queen
being
bed, 60 by 80.
exactly. So
And
so-
it folds up and turns into kind of a futon if you want it to sit
exactly.
inside for the
If
day.
you want to do any kind of cleaning to it, you simply just unzip it from your inside. You have the zipper that goes all the way off.
So it's washable.
It is washable.
You can
correct.
take that off, and that's
So-
awesome. Look at all the extra plugs in this now. I saw this from
Yeah,
that side.
so it's a standard little home, you
Got
know,
little holders.
feature. Cup holders. You got grab bars on top. This one is equipped with.
Key holder right there. I
Yeah,
saw
so
that.
this one is equipped with air conditioning ports. So they're directional, one size supply, while the others are return. We use a heat pump system, so it runs
Yeah,
off
we're gonna take a
120
picture of that, man.
Yeah.
It's,
So
and that just would sit outside.
it sits outside.
And then when they get where they're going, if you're plugged in here, or you plug it in separate.
Right. So you can either have it plugged up with an extension cord of at least 10 foot to get you underneath your unit, or over your unit, or around, whichever's feasible. And at that point, or you can be hooked up to a generator of at least 2,000 watt is what's
Yeah,
recommended.
totally. A lot of
So-
people got those.
Yeah.
And they've
most
even
people.
got the solar generators to go 2,000 watts. Now,
Right.
If
yeah.
they had to.
Yeah. A
It just
Jackery
wouldn't run as
system.
long.
Jackery's a good brand. We
But,
use Renogy as
dude,
our solar
you might
brand.
not need it because these
No.
are airtight. You got body heat. You've got
Right.
other things emitting heat. But if you need it to cool down,
Oh yeah, absolutely. The vent
This-
is perfect, man.
this thing
Doesn't
right here is
matter
going
if
to
it's
cause quite a breeze.
standard vent or if a 10-speed vent.
Because then I'm opening up my windows too, and across, right? And then you've got other circulation. So, and it's insulated.
Insulated. Yeah, standard insulation is going to consist of your front wall and your rooftop. We do have an addable option, which is a diamond plate skid plate, but it's also going to have insulation for your flooring. Again, your sidewalls is just like the rear end, 3/4 inch 13 ply birch. So that's standard as far as that, but everything else being
And let me
here-
tell you this, because people that bring their stuff,
Yeah.
how thick are tents? I mean, I got a
You-
really good
you look
Marmot
at it,
tent.
yeah.
It's not that thick, all right? So
Exactly.
this is really, and it's, if I'm not mistaken, I've got a lock on it.
Correct.
Right?
You got handle lock, you have a deadbolt lock. Now,
I'm safe.
that is a question in a lot of cases. You know, there's never a bear-proof thing. I don't care if it's a cooler. I don't care if it's a truck. I don't care if it's, dude, I'm on F-150 forms,
Sure.
and I see bears get in on locked vehicles and trucks, demolished total. Same thing can apply to this. However, safety being in mind of everybody, locking things.
Sure.
Nobody wants anything stolen, but unfortunately, the world we live in. So overall, it's going to be a tough time for somebody to break in here, including ourselves when we lock our keys in, because there is some things that we, you know, can lock the handle, for instance, and shut the door, and unfortunately, you would have to have a spare key to get to that.
Yeah, and you know,
So-
I was talking to Damon,
Right.
founder and owner, Damon Crump, and Chase, can you hear me? Yeah, and the thing about it is he said it's just 2 keys. There's one for the storage
Right.
box
So-
up front,
well,
but
there's
the key, these
There's
doors.
2
and-
sets of keys. So you
Right.
have your doors, you have your galley, then you have your front box.
Okay, so there's 2 sets of 3 keys.
Correct.
Okay, cool. And then he purposely made this bigger so he could throw up his, I mean, I don't know, lots of luggage.
Oh, lots of
So you
luggage.
could either keep it in your pack or not.
Right.
You've got easy
you-
grip handles to get in and out. This cargo netting is great. Everybody's used to that. Easy, you know, and you're going into real wood. This is
Yeah,
how thick
yeah.
again?
3/4 inch.
3/4 inch Baltic birch. Unbelievable. When you look down here too, like this carpet, right?
It's an
that you
indoor
guys put
outdoor
in,
carpet.
and that is in all the XTRs.
All matter of fact, all of our units.
All of
teardrop
units use
square
this
drops.
indoor outdoor.
Correct.
Okay.
So
And-
it is just carpet taped on there. So if somebody wanted to take it off and use a foam padding or put foam padding on top of that, or they want to put like hardwood floor for some crazy reason, they have the luxury of just simply peeling this off and undoing that tape. We don't want to use glue again for anything like that.
Okay, so you're not using glue if they wanted to do that?
Carpet tape, correct.
You got it, because there are people that might want to do that.
Oh, we get a lot of those customers. Yeah, we absolutely do.
And then you look up front here, and this is unique, man.
Yeah, so the Stargazer is proprietary as well. Instead of getting, full windows that were pre-manufactured, like our side windows on our doors, with COVID hitting, we did have to transition into something that was still a Stargazer, but in the same sentence, we had to go in the route of making a Stargazer and continuing on. But needless to say, the Stargazer is it's polycarbonate or acrylic. I can't remember exactly.
I think it's polycarbonate.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it shattering if a rock hits it. And there goes the load to California.
There goes the load. Get a picture of that,
it's
man.
a load going to California.
Have fun in California. Kill it, man. So 12 volt runs only off the battery solely. Then you have 120 volt, which is running off your shore power. So again, just like in the galley, you have your USB port that has 2 USB ports, a voltmeter in the center that you can easily turn on and off by the button itself. Or Talk
you
to
can
me about the
power it on and
voltmeter. I
off.
don't think that's a common feature in conventionals.
When you're looking at something as far as that, the voltmeter, the battery itself doesn't have a voltmeter, and not many people are going to have a multimeter, as we call them. But needless to say, this is going to help with anybody and everybody as far as getting a range of where their battery juice is at. Needless to say, another thing too that I also use it for is when you're hooked up to a vehicle, a tow vehicle.
Sure.
A lot of people ask, well, how can I identify? Because we wire all of these to take charge off a tow vehicle as long as the manufacturer of that tow vehicle is wired itself to do that. So people ask, well, how do I identify that? Well, when you're hooked up to your tow vehicle, your alternator off your vehicle is giving you a amount of power, 13.4 and above. So with your battery on the on position, as you would if you were traditionally charging it off 120 volt on the battery charger in the back, you're going to see 13.4 and above running from your alternator.
What if it's below?
Well, if it's below, obviously it's not charging it. So it's either a fault of the tow vehicle or wiring of the tow vehicle.
Doesn't mean it's totally dead. I mean,
no,
at that point, but yeah.
Right. So, but you'll have, for a deep cycle battery, which is what we traditionally use,
sure.
Everything's rated to do a lithium or gel battery, whatever AGM.
When you say rated, what does that mean? It's ready?
Wires as far as
converting?
Yeah, converting, needless to say. So any kind of material like our lights, our vent, our voltmeter right here, our USB ports, all that is just as easy to be used for a lithium battery setup as it is a deep cycle battery.
All right, so with conventional trailers, typically, all right, those that want to use lithium batteries have to use it's a converter that actually you have to drain the battery and have it recharged, and it'll know if it's lithium or it'll know if it's a deep cycle AGM. You don't have to do any of that.
No, even the battery charger that comes standard as far as the tender as well, that's on there. You can convert that easily from deep cycle.
Do you press a button
lithium.
to say what kind of battery it is, or it just reads it?
Yeah, it doesn't read. It's not that intelligent.
Okay,
but
you have to press what kind of battery.
Yep.
That's on that thing?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so if I have a battery up here, you're going to put your batteries in here, right?
Yes, yeah. Traditionally, you want them in front. And the reason why, again, is because when you take an off-road trailer, first thought in mind is it's an off-road trailer.
Sure.
If I'm taking it for what it's intended for and built for a purpose of, I don't want my battery behind my axles because that's where most of our inertia is at.
Sure.
So if we have a battery, unfortunately, deep cycle is way anywhere between 50 to 60 pounds. We use a 27-inch size battery, so that way you can get 2 of them.
Yeah.
They have
so you can fit 2. If you can fit 2 deep cycles, you'll fit lithium because they're smaller.
Oh, yeah.
And they're more than half the weight. Or less than half the weight.
Less than half the weight. Dude, it's dramatic what modern batteries are weighing nowadays as far as lithium goes, and also stronger.
We've seen 23 to 31 and then 50 to 60, like you said. Yeah.
So, but again, we mount up here as we always have. You have your on and off switch, which is simple to get to.
Right.
This one is already pre-done as far as a solar module being in place. This is a plug-and-play system. So at this point, if nobody wanted a battery from us, they can simply just add their own battery and hook it up. Everything's pretty obvious, and we'll go as far as labeling it as we always do for every customer. But again, the dealer aspiration of this is a lot of dealers like to incorporate their own battery. They want customers to have choices, lithium, deep cycle gel, whihatever is.
So where would I push what kind of battery it is?
So you have simply 3 lights on here. This is a plug and play system again.
I just put a lithium in.
You just put a lithium in. You got all your choices right here as to what type of battery. So even this Renergy brand solar module is equipped as far as what types of battery. So again,
so blue is LI.
Cycle. Blue is LI, correct.
Okay.
you don't even have to press this on. So you simply just press and hold it. It'll give you a transition over here, and at that point you just choose what battery is in place of that. Once it's done, you release your button, and at that point it's
killer, man, because and again, somebody might have this battery, that battery, and you can switch it over. It doesn't have to, like, there are other converters out there that have to read it and they have to drain out and then recharge.
Right.
That starts right from the get-go.
Exactly.
Upgrades right here, double wheels.
Double wheels has always been standard on our off-road units. Single wheels for our off-road or on-road, excuse me. It is adjustable, so if somebody wanted to either replace this, because there are some different types of brands out there, just like everything else, we can modify it.
Sure.
Somebody might not be.
I don't know why they would, but that one's fine.
Well, they got some really expensive, crank stabilizers and jacks out there that are super wicked, man. And as a business, again, they may not be readily available.
But you used the word stabilizer, and that's a good point, because
you're looking
this
at
being an upgrade, you got the double wheel.
Right.
This is adjustable.
It's a 4-inch adjustment.
Yep.
So we've had vehicles of a Volkswagen Jetta, a Mustang GT, I've had a Crown Vic, I've had a Mazda 3, a Mazda CX-3.
Dude, it's all over.
It's all over, exactly. So you've got a lift kit, you can jack this up and get a little bit of 2-inch adjustment, or if you have a vehicle that's lower, you can go down.
And you don't have to get the different ball to do that.
Right, exactly.
That's what they have to do. What's your typical hitch height, you think?
You're looking at 18 to 19 inches.
And where do you get? Right up to about there? Yep. And we're on a little grass. It's a little bit up right now. And then we were talking about clearance, because a big part of our overland is the wheels, the suspension, the clearance. Aaron, is what? So to the lowest point to the highest point.
Lowest point being your actual suspension is at 14 inches. Your highest point where your frame is at, you're looking at 19 inches.
And you're using what kind of axles?
Again, these are Dexter Torflex suspension.
Yep. And then this is really cool too. This is very non-conventional. Man. Tell me about that.
Well, a lot of people, I get the question, if I have a jack, how am I going to replace my tire if I'm out? The coolest thing about this is you simply just release your front jack off the vehicle. You suspend it all the way down. You simply just pop these pins out right here. I'm going to put it to where it's as close to the ground where I can pop this pin back in.
Right.
You start cranking up your front. I can completely do any kind of maintenance, tire change, if I need to drop
with these right here.
With these and completely suspend it up in the air. So.
Yeah, that's not normal.
No, it's not, man. Because you have some pretty wicked crank stabilizers out there. You can manually transition. You can, you don't have to take a jack with you. The only thing you simply would need is a 4-way or an impact that you can take your tire off, put it on your tow vehicle, hit the road.
So you lower that gets way down, and then by the time you bring it up, that wheel's off the ground.
Off the ground.
Dear Lord, that's awesome. And then, as far as this goes, it's just standard, whatever be in the tow vehicle, and change it out, right?
Right. So standard wheel, as far as hub pattern, is 5x4.5. That's your traditional order Jeep style. Not every trailer can be matched to a tow vehicle like F-150s you can, so you have to have a spacer or something along the lines of that, which isn't recommended for many reasons, roadway. But we can do 6x5.5, 5x5, 5x5.5, and 5x4.5, which is standard.
You know your stuff, man. How many colors exterior?
Unfortunately, we dropped that down to only 5 colors, so we have Sierra 10, which is
you want to know how many choices most people get?
Only a couple, man.
Pretty much.
Maybe one.
Yeah, it's the old Henry Ford model, right? You want it black or do you want it in black, right? Yeah. So you got 5 colors, and this one is
Sierra 10.
This, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, man, but it's great color.
So we have
it really
Sierra 10, it's more of your dune color. Then you have matte black.
It's that khaki, Sierra 10, and where the sun is. But when we came in here, it stood out right away.
Yeah. Like I said, man, it's not a cloudy day. It's still a pretty day, but it
we go all the way around.
Yeah, that helps out tremendously right there too.
So I got 5 colors. Did we get all those 5 colors? And what can I do on the roof? I got 2 color choices up there.
2 color choices is only going to be black and white, like the one beside it.
Okay.
So the color on that's also one of the 5. So that's metallic charcoal. You have matte gray. We have Sierra tan. We have matte black. And then the only one that's missing from here is gloss white.
And we pretty much know what that looks like. There's one over there beyond that truck.
Right.
All right, so there's the plate.
So
clearance lights.
Yeah, DOT lights consist of running lights on which we just started introducing on these models. Last time
these
you guys
are new?
were here, yeah, we didn't have those.
Right.
Just gives it a little more character, a little more aggressive look. Ford Raptors.
Well, it's probably part of RVIA, right?
Well,
so this is an RVIA approved trailer now, certified. So for people that are thinking about that, you're an NADA book.
Yes.
So if you have to go trade up, right? So dealers and whoever or customers can go ahead and trade it in. So you've got all those bases covered on that. The underneath is what? There's no tanks, there's no cords hanging, nothing like that, right?
The only cords that you'll have would be rain and conduit, and that's from the front tongue all the way to the back where your galley is at. Aside from that, your frame is built at a 2x3 11 gauge steel. and you have joints in between every piece of that, so that way you're not only stable, you're not having to stress about warping. If you go off-road, you're not having to worry about a ding here, it's going to throw it off, now it's going to be cattywampus. Dude, like I said earlier, we've had units roll untraditionally by off-roading, natural disasters, tornadoes,
Sure.
people going off-roading more than what I would want to.
Dude, there's a great video on your website that an Axleist company did. Take a look at that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And then we'll go ahead and look at some of that in the factory. So we'll look at the chassis in there. We'll look at some of the inside of the walls on the top. The AC, we'll look and take some pictures of that as well. This, we missing anything? It's loaded. I mean, I even asked about this earlier. There's 2 awning options.
Right.
Okay, and they're actually, the one comes with different packages.
Right.
But you've got a straight out awning.
It'll be
How big is that?
ARB touring. It's
ARB
8.2
touring.
feet by 8.2 feet.
What's that?
8.2 foot by 8.2 foot.
So you got over 64 square foot.
Oh, yeah.
And then the 180 is an option as well, right?
Yes. Now the 180 is legitimately half a circle. It's not a wraparound. It's not a fox wing,
It's not a
bat
270.
wing.
It's just
right. So
way
it's
out
literally half your circle right here, but it comes out as length of just past your galley. And you can also make any kind of final adjustments.
Sure.
Anybody can, just by simply loosening the 2 nuts and transitioning forward or backwards. So.
Dude, the other thing is too, and I know with the straight out one, is there a screen option?
Now the ARB
Not
is
through you.
really, not through us, but
you can
it's
get it
a
aftermarket,
really great
right?
product. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
tell me
so
about
wicked,
that.
man, because the fact of it being a sizable tent, if you have guests coming over, or maybe you just want to get out and change, you want some privacy, you have that option. You can buy it on Amazon.
See-through as well as it's
got
concealing,
a
right?
net. Then you also have for full concealment.
And you know what? I get it, man, because some of these people are going to take these in spots where they're the only people there.
Yeah.
And comes, twilight or whatever.
I don't want somebody with binoculars seeing me,
or the mosquitoes coming out or what have you, man.
Exactly.
It's a great deal that way.
So.
Rooftop tent. We already talked about how this is rated. You can get it either basically aftermarket. You guys aren't working with those.
We don't do rooftop tents. We don't do coolers or fridges. There's just too much.
But this is set up to fit just about any of them, right?
Absolutely.
That we know out there, and there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of brands. Yeah.
As far as sleeping goes, we're looking at 2 here, maybe 2 more there. There is a bunk option too, right?
There is a bunk option. Now, it will take place of your cabinetry, so you won't have cubbies, you won't have cabinetry, but you will have a bunk option. That's as wide as the trailer, but also 2 foot deep.
I think we saw one where we could take a picture of it. There's a couple cabinets. It's just gives somebody if they've got one small child.
Right.
So you could, and you got people up here. You can expand your sleeping to whatever it's looking for. Get the biggest bang for your buck.
Exactly.
What's the warranty on Advantage Trailer Works? VTW, right?
Right.
What's the warranty on a product here?
When you're looking at something that we built from the ground up, we give a 3-year warranty as far as frame, any kind of construction on it. Now we do have a 90-day warranty as far as seals go, because that is depending on location. Somebody can part incinerate the tree and it can really eat away at some joints or anything along the lines of that. But as far as anything, as power supply, lights, battery, ventilation, plumbing back here, as far as the water pump, all that will be a 1-year limited warranty.
That's 1 year, okay.
Correct.
And then your structure is 3 year.
3 year.
It is, okay. Is that on your website if someone were to look at it?
Everything's on the website.
Everything we just talked about? Okay.
Yeah.
And of course components, some of them have their own.
Right, yeah, so that's why that limited
But everything's
warranty
at least
kicks
a
in.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as annual maintenance, you mentioned seals.
Super
what do
easy,
they need
man.
to do every year? Or,
It's the simplest.
regularly?
Again, we're not trying to dumb it down. We just want to make it as simple as much as possible. So when you're looking at something like, as far as your spindles, you got a grease fitting right here in the center. You got an easy pop off, grommet nipple. You simply pop this off. You got your grease gun. You hook up right here. You just pump away at it
until it comes out and then close it up,
right? Until it comes out and close it up.
And they should do that how often, you think?
Oh, well, it's recommended. It's recommended as a pre-trip inspection. That's my motto.
Sure.
Overall, it can be anywhere between 8,000 to 10,000 miles for re-greasing them. But it also depends on what kind of terrain you're going through. Exactly. If I'm going in water, if I'm going through mud, if I'm going, if I'm not going in those, I'm just keeping on the road, it's going to react differently as anything else would. So.
We love it. Well, listen, there'll be some more units that we go ahead and walk around, but man, I think that's a pretty good start, right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
XTR, Extreme
Off-road.
Trailer Off-Road. Thanks, brother.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. We'll do some more.
Yeah.